Fat shaming of overweight or obese individuals is still a prevalent issue even in 2020. But is there an awareness as to how obese individuals are affected by this fat shaming? And does fat shaming bring about any behavioral changes which are beneficial to the individual? These two questions will be addressed in this video, coming right up. Hi, I'm Howard of Trinigirevik, where it is believed that health and strength is a choice and not up to chance. Therefore, this channel addresses health and fitness topics and also gives tips and strategies so that you can make the right choice. Negative attitudes towards people suffering from overweight or obesity are pervasive in modern Western societies. Medical studies have documented harmful weight-based stereotyping that overweight or obese individuals are lazy, weak-willed, unsuccessful, unintelligent, they lack self-discipline, they have poor willpower, and also non-compliant with weight loss treatments. Stereotypes like the ones mentioned are used for excuses for stigmatization, prejudice, and discrimination against overweight or obese individuals in many situations in society. Situations include the workplace, healthcare facilities, educational institutions, the mass media, and even in close interpersonal relationships. Sad to say, even the school environment is not a safe haven from these stereotypes. Dr. Michael Greger, in his book How Not to Diet, says that children as young as 3 years old label overweight peers as mean, lazy, stupid, and ugly. One of the starkest illustrations of this stereotyping in children was done in a study in 1961, where children in various summer camps and schools across many different social, cultural, economic backgrounds in California, Montana, and New York were asked to rank 6 images of children that they liked from highest to the lowest. Number 1, a healthy child with no physical disabilities. Number 2, a child holding crutches. 3, a child in a wheelchair. 4, a child with no left hand. 5, a child with a facial disfigurement. And 6, an obese child. Guess who came in with the lowest rank? The obese child. But that was in 1961. I mean, surely we have come a long way since then, right? Well, in 2003, the same study was conducted among 458 children in New Jersey with different economic and ethnic backgrounds. 415 of those children completed this questionnaire according to instructions. And what were the results? The obese child had the lowest rank again. This time the ranking in 2003 being worse than in 1961. The 2003 study concluded that stigmatization of obesity by children appears to have increased over the past 40 years. But this stigmatization that is seen in children is usually just a reflection of the wider society. Just do a social media search using the terms fat acceptance or body positivity and you will see what I mean. For good measure, even some well-known entertainment figureheads endorse this. Check out this clip from Bill Maher about fat shaming.
In August, 53 Americans died from mass shootings. Terrible, right? You know how many died from obesity? 40,000. Fat shaming doesn't need to end. It needs to make a comeback. Some amount of shame is good. We shame people out of smoking and into wearing seatbelts. We shame them out of littering, and most of them out of racism. Shame is the first step in reform. It's what goads people into saying, maybe I can do better, as opposed to, I'm always perfect the way I am, how dare you.
Trinidad and Tobago is no stranger to obese and overweight individuals being exposed to stigmatization in the public domain. Case in point, anyone remembers this young lady? The young lady in the picture besides me decided to participate in the 2019 Carnival Tuesday Street Parade in Trinidad and Tobago, not allowing her size to be a hurdle to enjoying the full carnival experience. She went even further to share that experience on a local media station shortly after. This is what she had to say.
I went to Tribes Band Lounge, saw Lost Tribes costumes, fell in love with Mumtaz, which was designed by Sean Danraj, and there and then I decided I was hitting the road again. I came out the band to take some photos, and some women standing on the side of the road, very much plus size like myself in jeans and t-shirts, said to me, fat women don't play mass. We fat women don't play mass. So I responded, look for me in my costume tomorrow. So when my band got to Circuit Room, I had an awesome time. And a woman came up to me and she asked to take a photo of me with her. And we posed, we took a couple shots. And then she told me that I look so beautiful for plus size masquerade, for plus size girl. Sure. And I replied to her, I look beautiful regardless, you know? And we hugged and we went away. And truth be told, I don't even think that she realized what she just said.
And in my opinion, nothing out of the ordinary. Played carnival and had a good time. However, as the saying goes, after joy comes sorrow. Enter this guy, Dr. Fuad Khan, a doctor by profession and a former Trinidad and Tobago Minister of Health. This is what he had to say about Miss Santana enjoying carnival. Take a look.
Hi, Candace Santana. Victimization and calling about fat shaming is not the issue. The issue is, do we want our children to suffer from non-communicable diseases as they get older? Right now, the whole, almost about 60% of the population, they're obese. And they are going to suffer with non-communicable diseases as you get older because of the disease of obesity. So when you pull the victim syndrome about fat shaming and fat acceptance, it's not so. As a former Minister of Health, I am extremely concerned about the diabetic type 2 diseases and also high cholesterol in our young people because of obesity and overweight. So when you come on and you start to speak about fat shaming in society, just shut up. Because it's not about a fat shaming society if you have big aprons around your waist, your arms are hanging, and all that type of thing. That is obesity. That's a disease. Your BMI is greater than 35. I don't want my children in my country to suffer from such issues of obesity because people like you try to pull the victim system, victim shaming. That's not victim shaming. It's the reality that you all are too fat and you are forcing the fatness on the children of Trinidad and Tobago and the world because of the junk you're eating. No self-control. Exercise is minimal and you just use words like victimization and fat shaming and fat society. Shut up and lose the weight or else you'll suffer from serious non-communicable diseases as you get older. I'm an advocate for breaking down the non-communicable diseases, especially in children. If you want to do yourself that stupidness, go ahead. Walk around the place like a tub. But don't let my children in Trinidad and Tobago, none of them, end up like tubs like you. We don't want no non-communicable diseases. They're strained on the healthcare and it's short lives for them. Heart attacks, diabetes, eye problems, foot problems, renal problems, respiratory problems because of the stupidness that you're promoting. It's not about fat shaming and fat acceptance. You're fat, you're obese, lose the weight, and decrease the incidence of non-communicable diseases as you get older. Feel very strongly about it.
Yeah. Now, where do I stand with respect to this issue of obesity and fat shaming? Now, as someone who has an interest in health and fitness, I do get to an extent what the former Minister of Health is coming from. Obesity is becoming an increasingly serious health challenge in Trinidad and Tobago because obesity is usually associated with all the other health issues that the former Minister of Health mentioned. At the time of recording this, the world is in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. This, according to this news article here, obesity is a serious risk factor for severity of COVID-19 outcomes. And not to mention that many overweight or obese individuals usually have one or more NCDs, such as diabetes, hypertension, coronary heart disease, coronary artery disease, stroke, cancer. All of these are risk factors for COVID-19 severity outcomes. So it is not lost on me that being overweight or obese is a health issue that must be addressed urgently. However, before I go further, I want to play this clip showing the present Minister of Health, Mr. Terence Yalson, when asked for his response to his predecessor's remarks. Take a look.
I think victim shaming on the whole is to be deplored. I think what we need to do is empathize with people, help people, and lead them to a place where they can lead healthy lives. But I will not be commenting directly on Dr. Khan. Leave that to himself.
And I 100% agree. It is my belief that the issue of obesity here in Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension anywhere in the world, should be dealt with this: empathy. People who are suffering from obesity or being overweight need to be treated as people and not like pariahs. Obese individuals are not the problem. Obesity is the problem. Whoever is watching this video, put yourself in the shoes of an overweight or an obese individual and get to know what it's like. Walk alongside one of them. Get to know their struggles, their trials, their thoughts, their temptations. In other words, get to know them for who they are. People. And if you don't want to do that, please stay out of the issue of obesity and please refrain from giving your opinions. Personally, as someone who has struggled with weight issues in my childhood and teenage years, I know what it's like to be ridiculed because of my size. Some of the insults I can remember from as way back as early primary school, even as I'm about to leave my 30s and enter into my 40s. A close friend of mine recently revealed that she will be reduced to tears because of comments from people who are close to her, comments about her size and weight. And I'm almost sure that some of you out there who have ever been overweight or obese at any point in your life would know what I'm talking about. Some of you may be dealing with it right now at this point. The stares, the snickering, the soft comments, the sly comments. And then some may experience the even more overt abuse, like,
just shut up. No self-control. Exercise is minimal. Walk around the place like a tub. But don't let my children in Trinidad and Tobago, none of them, end up like tubs like you.
never mind you tried every diet out there with little to no results. Whether it is Salt Beach, Atkins, Zone, intermittent fasting, gluten-free, Nutrisystem, Weight Watchers, keto, vegan, juice fasting, and the list goes on and on and on. There has been a movement in the United States and the world at large called the Fat Acceptance Movement. In the USA, the main organization at the forefront of this movement is the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance. Its slogan says we come in all sizes. Now, this organization, I have a fundamental disagreement with the NAAFA and their stance on obesity research. Their official position with regards to obesity research is this: the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance asserts that the primary goal of obesity research should be to improve the health and well-being of fat people rather than weight loss. Now, if you were following me before, you would know all the reasons why I totally disagree with this position. It's one thing if you're fat but not metabolically sick. That's not a problem. However, if you are fat and sick because of being fat, metabolically or otherwise, you have a problem, and by extension, society has a problem. However, there is one thing that the fat acceptance movement has gotten right, and it's this: size and weight discrimination and bias is a real problem, and it's a problem that needs to be addressed and eliminated, and the process needs to start now. And it needs to be done with empathy, not a pompous, self-righteous, high-handed attitude. According to this medical commentary, it is self-titled, "If fat shaming reduced obesity, there would be no fat people." And I think that James Corden says it much more eloquently in this clip. Take a look.
A lack of shame is not the issue here. If making fun of fat people made them lose weight, there'd be no fat kids in schools and I'd have a six-pack by now, right?
In Dr. Greger's book referenced earlier, a study was conducted by interviewing 47 individuals who had lost an average of 126 pounds through diet and surgical interventions. These 47 individuals were asked to reminisce on their heavier days and make a hypothetical choice. The question put forward was this: if offered $2 million to stay morbidly obese, would you choose the money or would you choose to be on normal weight? The answers were divided into 3 categories. They were: I will accept being normal weight. It won't take me any time to make that decision. I will choose to be on normal weight, but the choice, it will take some time for me to make that choice. And number 3, I would choose the money over being on normal weight. Out of those 47 individuals, only one person chose answer 2. Everybody else chose answer 1. Give that a little bit of thought. Also, here were some more revelations from those 47 individuals. All of them said that they would rather be deaf, be unable to read, be diabetic, have bad acne, have heart disease, than be obese for life. More than 90% of them said that they would rather have an amputated leg than be obese. About 90% of them said that they would rather be blind for life than to be obese. In closing, to quote one of the subjects, when you're blind, people want to help you. No one wants to help you when you're fat. Question of the day: have you ever experienced or witnessed fat shaming, weight discrimination, or stigma in any form or fashion? And if so, what are your thoughts on it? Put your comments in the comment section below and let's get the conversation going. Resource links for this video will be in the caption box below, including a link to Dr. Michael Greger's book, How Not to Diet. Till then, be safe and be well. And remember, health and strength are more about choices and less about chances.